Recorded Books and RB Digital present The Sensational Past by Carolyn Purnell. Narrated by Liz Thompson. The author begins with a quote from Voltaire's Philosophical Dictionary. "We are amazed by thought, but sensation is just as remarkable." Introduction. According to the 18th century French writer Voltaire, oysters had 2, moles had 4, and other animals, men included, had 5. Some people recognize a 6th, he stated, referring to sex, but when it came down to it, they were just plain wrong. 5 is our lot, Voltaire assured his readers, and it is impossible for us to imagine or to want more. Given the subtitle of this book, you may have picked up on the identity of the mysterious things that Voltaire was counting. But even if you guessed correctly, the senses, Voltaire's claims might still seem a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Who really cares how many senses oysters have? Why does it matter that moles are blind? And while it might make kindergarten education more interesting, who nowadays would argue that sex is a 6th sense? What's more, lest you think Voltaire's logic stopped there, he went on to speculate about the sensory abilities of aliens. Dreaming of far-off planets and peoples, he wrote, "It's possible that on other planets they have senses of which we have no idea. It may be that the number of senses increases from planet to planet, and a being with innumerable and perfect senses is the ultimate goal." To hear Voltaire talk, it seems like the truth is out there, but even Scully and Mulder from X-Files would have had their work cut out with this one. Let's not be too quick to dismiss Voltaire, though. Famous for his wit, satire, and highly caffeinated social interactions, he allegedly consumed about 40 cups of coffee per day. Voltaire was far from being a crackpot. Nor was he rambling aimlessly about topics that were of no interest to his readers. In fact, he was riding the tide of a major conversational and intellectual trend of the day. And readers would have gobbled up his speculations with zeal. In the 18th century, which for this book's purposes is the period between roughly 1690 and 1830, writing and talking about the senses were frequent practices. Authors, artists, philosophers, doctors, politicians, naturalists, and common people were fascinated by the topic. And debate about the senses, the effects of sensory experience, and the links between the mind and body filled the period's letters, literature, and thought. Here's one quick but important example. Between 1751 and 1772, the writer Denis Diderot and the mathematician Jean-Laurent d'Alembert undertook a massive project that subsequently has been considered indicative of the Enlightenment's optimism, rationality, and innovative spirit. They chased the modest aim to collect all the knowledge that now lies scattered over the face of the earth, to make known its general structure to the men among whom we live, and to transmit it to those who will come after us. This exhaustive collection of knowledge, to be known as the Encyclopédie, filled 17 volumes of text and 11 volumes of plates before all was said and done. And it featured articles written by more than 130 contributors, including Voltaire, Baron de Montesquieu, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, all of whom you will come to learn more about in these pages. The whole project kicked off with d'Alembert's bold assertion, "All our direct knowledge can be reduced to the ideas that we get from our senses. Nothing is more indisputable than the existence of our sensations." This respected mathematician was far from alone in his sentiments. Talk of the senses and sensation seemed to be everywhere in the long 18th century, popping up in every genre imaginable. As d'Alembert suggested, just about everyone seemed to agree that the senses were the key to knowledge and meaningful conversation. Novelists and poets dove headfirst into the emotional world of sensory feeling through the concept of sensibility, which you may know from Jane Austen's novel, Sense and Sensibility. New theories of the brain and nervous system abounded in this era, replacing older ideas of sensation and perception, and physicians were increasingly
Sample complete. Ready to continue?